The exchange of rings now takes place, and according to our tradition, the ring is just a simple circle without precious stones. Just as a circle has neither beginning nor end, so too should your love be infinite. We have a ring over here. Matt, place this ring on Julie's right forefinger and repeat after me. Hare at, Mekudeshet li, V'taba'at zo, Kedat Moshe, V'Yisrael. Be consecrated to me, with this ring, as my wife, in keeping with, the heritage of Moses, and Israel. Okay, Julie, now take this ring, please, and place it on Matt's right forefinger and repeat after me. Ani l'dodi, v'dodi li. I am your beloved. And you presidential wall. And she continues to serve as a dedicated leader. Oh, the stories I could tell. But today is not about those stories. Today is not about those stories. Like the time I took your mother for a ride in the back of my Vespa motor scooter. Or that wild night at day school gala. No. Today's not about us. Today's about you and Matt and the special covenant you enter into today. This is my favorite part of the wedding ceremony, because this is when I get to talk about the couple, how they met, about their relationship, and what it is that makes the two of them so special and so unique. Some of you have probably been to their website and learned a little bit about their relationship, but for those that aren't aware or familiar, let me just give you a recap. Matt was a sophomore at UCLA, while Julie was a freshman at University of Texas in Austin. So over spring break, Julie went to Los Angeles with her friend Danny. At the same time, Ross, who was Julie's friend, also went to LA to visit his best friend Matt. Since Julie and Ross were friends, they decided that one night the four of them would meet up at a club. So Matt and Ross showed up at the club, but Julie spent the night dancing with Ross, while Matt spent the night dancing with Julie's friend Danny. Now, Julie remembers that night because she remembers that Matt and Ross stood out from the others. They looked different. They looked like Texans with their plaid shirts. They weren't wearing big cowboy hats, though, but it was just their plaid shirts. And here's Julie, this plain old country girl from Alabama.
But both Julie and Matt remember that night well, hanging out together. It was a random encounter. It was a fun night. And Julie returned to Texas, went back to school. And throughout college, Matt's name just kept coming up. You know, Matt was from Dallas. A lot of his childhood and high school friends attended UT. And Julie remembers one of her friends talking about that Matt Feldman guy who was about to start medical school. So Matt moved back to Dallas to start medical school, and the following year, Julie moved to Dallas for law school. And on campus, they just kept on running into each other. They had many friends in common, and they hung out in the same circles. While they liked each other and were certainly compatible, and even though Ross kept trying to push the two together, the timing was just never right. That was until Ross hosted a birthday party for Matt. It was around the time of Halloween, and everyone came in costume. Julie was invited, as was Matt's brother and sister-in-law, Dan and Lindsay. And at the party, Julie and Lindsay hung out together the entire time. They kicked it off. But it was then that Lindsay decided to take matters into her own hands, and she stepped into action. Because Lindsay knew there was potential. She saw the spark. She understood. She and Dan invited Julie over for Shabbat dinner. Julie accepted the invitation, went over for dinner. Matt was there, just as he was most Friday nights. So finally, it was just unavoidable, and the two started dating. From then on, the relationship grew, and there was just no stopping it. 4 months after that first Shabbat dinner, it was time for that famous DTR talk. You know what the DTR talk is? That's the define the relationship. It was then that Julie decided that she and Matt were officially dating.